The morning in Paris is incredibly wonderful, because the bells from Notre Dame touched everyone and some person always rang there. One dark night, a gypsy family with a small child moved to Paris, but they fell into a trap. Claude Frollo mercilessly punished any sin. He ordered the family to be seized, but the mother tried to escape, holding the baby in her arms. The woman fell right near Notre Dame. Claude took the baby and was going to throw him into the well, considering him a monster. But then the archdeacon appeared, who shouted that he should not do this, because he had committed the sin himself near Notre Dame. The archdeacon said that if he wants to improve, then he needs to take the baby and be his father. Claude agreed, but asked that the child live in Notre Dame, in the bell tower, and gave him a name that meant half-man. The guys named him Quasimodo, who rang the bells. Quasimodo talked to the bird and helped it learn to fly, because today is that day. Today was April Fool's Day, a peasant festival. Suddenly the gargoyles of the cathedral Victor, Hugo and Laverne came to life, as usual after sunset, and started a conversation with the guy. It was clear that he wanted to go to the holiday, but could not because of his disfigured appearance. The stone creatures tried to persuade him to go to April Fool's Day and live his life, but Frollo forbade him to go out anywhere. However, Victor, Hugo and Laverne convinced him that he should try. It's better to do it and regret it than not to do it and still regret it. Suddenly Claude came in, bringing lunch, and began checking the guy's alphabet, but instead of the right hand, he said April Fool's Day. Frollo hated this holiday, and then is forced to go there as part of his duty. The husband immediately refused him and reminded him that only condemnation awaited him there, because Quasimodo looked like a monster, and the church was his refuge. However, despite this, he continued to dream and look from the bell tower to the square. Quasimodo would give anything for one day of happiness. Everyone is in favor of just feeling something other than oppression from Frollo. All in order to find out what it means to be human and to have your own choice, because Claude always dictated to him what to do and how to do it. Captain Phoebus returned to the city and was looking for the Palace of Justice when he saw the gypsy Esmeralda dancing in the street, earning money. Phoebus threw her a couple of coins. When the guards appeared, who were always skeptical and hostile towards the gypsies, they attacked her, trying to take what she had earned, because they did not believe that someone like her could earn money. The woman was able to escape, and the captain stopped the sentries. At first they did not recognize him, and when they finally realized who was in front of them, they began to be embarrassed. The guards took Phoebus to the Palace of Justice, and on the way the man returned the money he found to Esmeralda. The captain, who had just returned from the war, met with Frollo. The latter began to say that the gypsies are like a disease of the city and he has been fighting them for more than 20 years, but everyone returned and returned. They had a safe hiding place in the cities, which they called the Court of Miracles. Frollo was determined to get rid of the gypsies at any cost. Quasimodo, hiding behind a hood, descended from Notre Dame and watched the crowd trying to somehow interact with the guy himself, but he constantly ran away. That's how Quasimodo accidentally ended up in the tent where the gypsy Esmeralda was. He fell and the woman helped him sleep. The guy was very afraid when she saw his face, but she didn't say anything except that he had a cool mask. The holiday was characterized by the fact that everything literally went topsy-turvy. There was Esmeralda's dance. Frollo, also present at the celebration, is simply shocked. And then Quasimodo was snatched onto the stage, because they were looking for the King of Fools, and this must be the ugliest face. He was chosen as one. Clopin Trollfu, the chief jester and host of the celebration, was pleased and the people liked it. Everyone greeted the king, but then the guards started throwing tomatoes at the guy and generally tied him up with ropes. Captain Phoebus wanted to stop the injustice, but Frollo forbade it. But Esmeralda climbed up to Quasimodo and cut the ropes. Claude said that the woman would pay for this, but she skillfully escaped, mocking Frollo, because he was the main king of fools. Claude ordered to find the gypsy at any cost. Quasimodo returned to Notre Dame. Esmeralda and her goat made their way to the cathedral, and then Phoebus came and joked. They met. Suddenly Frollo came out, and then the archdeacon reminded him that nothing illegal could be done in the church. Esmeralda prayed, chanting. Quasimodo heard this and followed her, but other people noticed him and reacted sharply to the guy, and she followed him. They ended up in his house near the bells, where the guy literally made a whole model of the city with wooden figures. He began to introduce her to the bell, because they all had a name, and then showed her the roof of the cathedral, from where he could see an incredible view. Esmeralda wanted to stay here forever, but now it was like a prison because Frollo was hunting her. Quasimodo said that she is not like other gypsies, she is good. The woman only replied that Claude told him so, but in fact all people are kind. Then she read fortunes on his palm, saying that there was no line of the monster, as Frollo had previously called him. Because she helped him, he helped her and lowered her and the goat down the walls. Then she gave him her amulet, with which he could climb into the Court of Miracles. It had an amazing pattern on it. Phoebus appeared, asking about Esmeralda, and then said that she was lucky to have a friend like Quasimodo, because he was ready to attack the captain because he thought that he wanted to arrest the woman. Quasi then made a wooden figurine of Esmeralda, which was on his model of the city. Frollo wanted to find the gypsy at any cost, so he ordered the arrest of all the gypsies in the city, asking for the others to be handed over, but no one said anything, so they were thrown into prison. Claude found the hut with the people who helped Esmeralda and then planned to burn the building down. Phoebus refused to carry out the order, so he was almost executed. He was wounded, so he accidentally fell from his horse into the river, but for Claude it was only joy. Only Esmeralda could not come to terms with this, so she dived and saved the captain. Frollo began to realize that perhaps Quasimodo was behind everything, and it was he who helped the gypsy. The guy was talking with the gargoyles, when suddenly the door opened and Esmeralda entered. She asked Quasimodo, as a friend, to shelter Phoebus, because he was wounded and was also hiding, like her. And then he saw Esmeralda and the captain kissing. Suddenly the goat began to make sounds. They looked there and noticed that Frollo was walking into the cathedral. Esmeralda quickly left, and Quasi and the gargoyles hid Phoebus. Claude said he came for lunch. Frollo broke loose and destroyed the model of the city, and then burned the figurine of the woman. The man also admitted that he had found a gypsy hiding place and was going to destroy it. Phoebus asked for help, so they used this amulet. It had a map of the city. This all led them to a cemetery with catacombs. There they were ambushed by the gypsies, because they thought they were enemies. Klopp and Trollfu was going to execute them, but Esmeralda forbade it, saying that they were her friends. One of them helped her escape from Notre Dame, and the other protected her from Claude. Frollo was just in hot pursuit and grabbed everyone, planning to burn the gypsies. He didn't care about the number of lives that he had taken and was going to take, because the main thing for him was to find Esmeralda, who haunted him, stuck in his head like a devil. Quasimodo was locked in the bell tower and he did not want to come out, even knowing that Claude wanted to execute Esmeralda first of the other people. However, Quasi still escaped from the rope, and then saved the woman, again ascending to Notre Dame, hiding her. Phoebus raised people to revolt. The gypsies were freed and everyone began to fight against the sentries who were trying to destroy Notre Dame in order to get to Esmeralda. Frollo was obsessed with her. He just wanted her dead, or him. Gargoyles also helped Quasimodo. Claude still made his way into the cathedral, but Esmeralda was not breathing. Frollo was about to kill the guy, and then the gypsy woman spoke. Claude made a reservation that Quasimodo's mother was also a gypsy, ready to sacrifice herself to save her son. A fight broke out. Quasimodo was jumping on the walls, trying to stay alive. Frollo lost his temper when he tried to attack Esmeralda, and so did the guy, but Phoebus saved him. All the time, Quasimodo was in love with the gypsy. However, she had feelings for the captain, so the guy, realizing this, took the hands of the man and woman and simply joined them, as if approving them. They won. Esmeralda brought Quasimodo out and people treated him normally. Notre Dame gave them the most important lesson that sometimes appearances can be deceptive and behind a beautiful face there can be a nasty person who wants to destroy all living things, and behind the distorted one there can be a kind and sincere soul that sacrifices itself for the sake of friends and loved ones. At this point the cartoon ends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your comment under this video. See you soon.